Hi friends, today you will learn the construction of non-recursive predictive parser. The non-recursive predictive parser contains an input and a stack and a parsing program and a parsing table and has an output either accepted or not. The input contains a set of strings to be parsed and it is ended with a dollar, that is called as a right-hand marker, and the parsing stack contains a grammar symbols and that is preceded by dollar. This is called as a bottom end marker, and a parsing program we have, and the parsing table contains a two-dimensional table that contains each and every row, one row for each and every non-terminal and one column for each and every terminal, and has an additional column that is nothing but a dollar. And how we are going to be constructing a predictive parsing table. So this is the algorithm to construct a predictive parsing table. So generally the predictive parsing table is going to be constructed for the given grammar G, that is nothing but input is nothing but a grammar, output is nothing but a parsing table, and we have to be follow these 4 steps to construct a predictive parsing table. So for each and every production you have to be apply the rule number 2 and 3. The rule number 2 and 3 tells about that if it is a production A tends to alpha is a production available in your grammar symbol in your grammar, then find out the first of alpha, and this first of whatever the alphabet symbols that we have, terminal symbols that we have, so that is nothing but in your mission parsing table mission that tells about the two-dimensional table, one row for each non-terminal, one column for each terminal, and then so if it is a first of alpha is nothing but A, then M of A, that is nothing non-terminal row, and then terminal column you have to be add that production A tends to alpha. Suppose when you are constructing a first of alpha, if you are identifying the epsilon in that first, then find out the first follow of A, then add epsilon related production whatever you have. For that production we have to be add that in the follow symbols, that is nothing but on the particular non-terminal row and particular terminal column, then we have to be add that production in the follow symbols. And all other undefined entries whatever we have, all these undefined entries are treated as to be NRS. So let us consider with an example. So let us consider the grammar symbol. Let us consider the grammar is, so E tends to T dash, E dash tends to plus T dash or epsilon, T tends to F T dash tends to star F T dash or epsilon, F tends to open parenthesis C, closed parenthesis or ID. This is the grammar that we have. So then find out the first of E, E dash, T, T dash, F. These are the symbols that I have written already. So first of E, T, F is nothing but a open parenthesis and then ID. First of E dash is nothing but plus comma epsilon as per the second production. First of T dash is nothing but star comma epsilon. So now we are kind of find out the first and then follow also. First follow of E, follow of T, follow of F also we have find out. And follow of E dash, follow of T dash also, both are to be same. Then construction of predictive parsing table as per the above rules. First we have taken the first production, that is nothing E tends to T dash. So find out the first of E. First of E is nothing open parenthesis comma ID. So now the predictive parsing table contains each and every row is for non-terminals. These are the rows and these are the columns. Columns are all the terminals represented by extra column, that is nothing but dollar. So here the first of E, T, F, I is nothing but open parenthesis comma ID. So now for the open parenthesis and ID, that is nothing but E row, non-terminal row, that is nothing but E row, and then terminal column, ID column, we have to be add that production E tends to T dash. So what is the first of E? That is nothing open parenthesis comma ID. So for ID we have added the same production E tends to T dash, open parenthesis also we have added that E tends to T dash. Now find out the first of E dash. First of E dash is nothing but plus comma epsilon. Plus is going to be occurred by using the production E dash tends to plus T dash. So that is nothing but E dash row and then plus column, we have to be add that production E dash tends to plus T dash. And whenever the epsilon is occurred, then find out the follow of E dash. What is the follow of E dash? Closed parenthesis comma dollar. For this closed parenthesis and then dollar, we have to be add that production E dash tends to dollar. So that is nothing but E dash row and then closed parenthesis, we have to be add the E dash tends to epsilon, and for the dollar E dash tends to the epsilon. For the closed parenthesis and dollar, we have to be add the follow of E dash symbols, we have to be add the E dash tends to epsilon. So like that, so T tends to first of T is nothing but open parenthesis comma ID, that is nothing but T tends to F T dash is to be added for the ID and then open parenthesis. And first of T dash is nothing but star comma epsilon. For the star is going to be identified as per the production T dash tends to star F T dash, then t dash tends to star f t dash, that is nothing but, so t dash row and then star column, we have to be add the production t dash tends to star f t dash. Whenever the epsilon is available, then construct the follow of t dash. The follow of t dash contains a plus closed parenthesis dollar. For plus closed parenthesis dollar, we have to be add the production t dash tends to epsilon, t dash row and then plus column, that is nothing but t dash tends to epsilon, and the closed parenthesis t dash row and then closed parenthesis column, we have to be added the t dash tends to epsilon, t dash row and then dollar, we have to be added the t dash tends to epsilon. Like that, first of f and the last production f tends to, first of f is nothing but open parenthesis id, for the f tends to id is nothing but id is going to be identified by using f tends to id, so that's why f row and id column we have added the production f tends to id. For the open parenthesis, f tends to open parenthesis close parenthesis. Like that, we are going to be constructing a predictive parsing table, and based on this predictive parsing table, we are going to be derive the string. So the predictive parsing derivation, the derivation procedure is like that. So the predictive parsing table, it scans the current input symbol a and the stack top x and behaves as follows. That is nothing but x is represented as top of the stack, a is represented as the input symbol. If the current stack top and then present inputs alphabet both are equal to dollar, then finally the predictive parsing table announce that the successful completion of parsing is over. That is nothing but the string belongs to the grammar and we have that is successful completion. And the top of the stack and the input symbol both are to be equal and it is not to be dollar. In such case, we have to be pop the x from the stack and move the pointer towards the next input symbol. So that is nothing, advance the pointer symbol towards the next input symbol. And if x is a non-terminal, and for example, if x is a non-terminal and a is an input symbol, input terminal that we have, so then check that particular entry m of x comma, if both are not equal and that should be and should not be dollar. In such case, then check that parsing table entry, so m of x row and the a column, if it is any production that we have. For example, if that production entry is nothing but x tends to uvw, so then we have to be in a reverse manner, we have to be pushed into the stack and then we have to be derive that derivation like that, applying the 1 2 3 rules. So how we are going to be deriving a string? The parsing derivation that contains mainly 3 columns. The parsing table contains, the parsing derivation contains a input, initially stack is an empty stack, and the input string that contains a set of strings, and the initially stack starts with a start symbol e and the string is going to be deriving is id plus id star id. So now check that entry of the top of the stack. Now we have to be check the m of non-terminal symbol, that is nothing but e and then id column. So now check that m of e comma id. So m of e comma id tells about e tends to te dash. Now we have to be reverse right hand side of that production, e tends to te dash. So on this particular entry, you have to be make the reverse of that production and push it into the stack instead of e. So that means that instead of e, the production is nothing but e tends to te dash in a reverse manner. That means that e dash and t we has to be pushed into the stack instead of e. So now the stack top contains a t and then top of the stack is, top of the input is nothing but id. Now once again check that particular entry t row and then id column, that is nothing but f t dash. So that is nothing but t dash f is going to be pushed into the stack and then check that entry of f on id. So f row id column, that is nothing but f tends to id. So f is going to be replaced as id. Now the top of the stack and the input both are to be equal, then pop the symbols and move the pointer towards the one position towards the towards the right hand side, that is nothing but advance the pointer. Now the top of the stack is nothing but t dash and the input symbol is nothing but plus. Once again check that entry of t dash and plus, that is nothing but epsilon. So t dash is going to be replaced as an epsilon. Now once again the stack top contains e dash and plus, e dash and plus contains plus t dash in a reverse manner, that is nothing but e dash t plus is going to be pushed into the stack and the top of the stack is plus and the input symbol is both are to be plus, plus and plus, that is nothing but top of the stack and the input symbol both are to be same, then pop the symbols. Then once again the stack top contains a t and then input contains id star id. T on id we have to be cross check it, that is nothing but ft dash. Now we have to be reverse that string in the right hand side, that is nothing but t dash f, we are going to be replaced in the stack. Now once again check on f tends to id, f on id, that is nothing f row and id column, that is nothing f tends to id. production right hand side, it is to be replaced instead of f place, we have to be replaced as a id both are to be same. Then we have to be pop, then t dash on star, that is nothing but epsilon. T dash is going to be replaced an epsilon. Now e dash is a t dash and star is nothing but star f t dash, that is nothing but t dash f star. Star and star both are to be same. Then pop the symbols. F on id is nothing but id is going to be replaced same. T dash and dollar is nothing but epsilon. Epsilon is replaced. E dash and dollar is nothing but epsilon. Now the stack contains an empty, input contains empty. So that means that the string is going to be accepted. That means that if the top of the stack, if the top of the stack and the present input alphabet both ought to be dollar, that is nothing but top of the stack is nothing but dollar and input is to be dollar, both ought to be dollar, means the parser announce that successful completion of the parsing table. So in this derivation, each and every time we are going to be checking for the parsing table, predictive parsing table. So if we go through the another example on the predictive parsing table, construction of predictive parsing table. So here the grammar is s tends to iet, s dash or a, s dash tends to es or epsilon, e tends to b. So as per the parsing derivation, construction is going to be considered for the first of s is, that is nothing but I, that is nothing s row and I column, we have to be add that production s tends to iet, s dash, s tends to a, the first of s is nothing but a, s tends to a is to be added, s dash, first of s dash is nothing but e comma epsilon, that is nothing but s dash tends to es is going to be added, s dash row e column, we have to be add that production s dash tends to es, and epsilon is occurred, then follow of e s dash we have to be considered, the follow of s dash is nothing but e comma epsilon. So then once again s dash tends to epsilon is added to the e comma dollar, and e tends to b, the first of b is nothing but b, that is nothing, e tends to b is going to be added like that. So in the same manner, if we can go through the remaining examples also, so go through this example, s tends to aab or ba or epsilon, the first of s is nothing but a comma b comma epsilon, first of a is nothing but a comma epsilon, first of b is nothing but b comma c. Then find out the construction of predictor. This is the way of construction of first and follow. First of s is nothing but a comma b comma epsilon, a epsilon. For the s and a we have to be construct the follow. So now we have to be constructing a follow construction also. This is the way of constructing a follow. After the construction of follow of s, so then the predictive parsing table contains non-terminals are s and a, b. So that means that s row a column we have to be add the production s tends to a, b. When the epsilon is occurred, follow of s we have to be added. Follow of s is nothing but dollar, s dash tends to epsilon is added from the s row and then dollar column, and follow of a is nothing but bc dollar. So for the bc dollar, a tends to epsilon is to be added, a tends to epsilon a row and then b column, a row and c column, a row and dollar column. So like that we have to be added. In the same manner, the derivation also, so top of the stack and then input symbol both are to be equal, then we have to be stop, otherwise check that parsing table derivation, s row and then a column tells about that which entry, that is nothing but aab. So reverse manner, b capital A small a we have to be added into the push stack. So that is nothing, in a reverse manner we have to be add that stack. So like that the derivation procedure is going to be done here. So once cross check the each and every derivation step, and then one more example I have given here, the construction of predictive parsing table for s tends to l equal to r, s tends to r, l tends to star r, r tends to id, r tends to l. Then find out the s, l, r. So here we don't have any epsilon symbol, then no need to be construct the follow symbols. Then directly go to the construction of predictive parsing table and then derivation also. This is the way of derivation here, string derivation s on star. This is the minimum string that is going to be derived, s tends to l equal to r, l is represented star r is represented as id, r tends to l production that we have, l is replaced as star r is replaced as, so the minimum string that we are going to be deriving is star id equals star id. So this is the minimum way of deriving a string. So once cross checked with the parsing table and the derivation, so in this manner we are going to be constructing a predictive parsing table and predictive parsing derivation also. Thanks for watching.